welcome to NHL Nightly on Hot Take Hockey with your host, Jeremiah Maxwell, a.k.a. the Sports Beard. Along with Pearlo Wisdom, the NHL handicapper extraordinaire. And Rico Inberry, goal-scoring prop dynamo. And featuring the degenerate gambler, Bostonian Mike.
What's up? How's it going, everybody? Welcome to NHL Nightly. Hope you are having a great night. Saul, thanks for joining. Zach, nice to see you guys. Everybody, appreciate you. Already 18 in the chat. That's awesome. On all platforms. That's very, very cool. So I neglected to say something yesterday. Pearlo, you had some news that you were going to share with everybody, and I didn't want to say it, but you can tell everybody now if you want to say what was the news when you learned over the break.
Oh yeah, I'm a grandpa.
Hey,
Perlo became a grandfather, man. So congrats to Perlo.
Yeah,
that's very cool, man. I didn't want to say it, I forgot. And then
I'm going to be a grandpa. I haven't actually had the baby yet, but I know I know.
Well, you're not having it at all. So where is your daughter? It's your daughter, right?
Yeah.
Where does she live?
She lives in Edmonton in Canada.
Okay, so she's in Edmonton, back in Edmonton. Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
So I'll be traveling back to Canada quite a bit now.
Oh, you're gonna go back and see. Okay, good. That's good. All right. Well, you know, I imagine it's only getting warmer now in Edmonton and stuff. I can tell you we have no snow here, but Puerto Rico, man, I felt so bad for him just hearing about all the snow they have there in Barrie.
Yeah.
Okay. So a bunch of great games today. Just final. Tampa wins 4-1 over Edmonton. We called that. I also called the Caps losing to the Flames. I just expected it. The Sabres beat the Ducks 3-2. The Penguins got worked by the Flyers 6-1. It's bad there in Pittsburgh, boys. I don't think I've ever seen it. It's as bad as it was before they drafted Fleury, Crosby, and Malkin. Actually, I should say Fleury, Malkin, Crosby, because that was the order they were drafted. Rangers get a really big win. I was actually kind of surprised. 18 shots on goal. They had a really high percentage there. The no-show for the Islanders, we were kind of in the mix still. And on that note, I did want to say, and yesterday we found out 68 years old, Al Troutwig, worked 30 years for MSG. He passed away. If you watch New York Rangers broadcast for Knicks or the New York Rangers, he was awesome. He was like a wordsmith. Very good. Fun fact about Al Troutwig, if you know the movie Meet the Parents, the pool scene and where they play the volleyball, that was filmed at Al Troutwig's house. So in Long Island. Anyway, interesting fact. I learned that from Valaket today and had to share that. So if you listen to Real Kipper and Born, so yeah, we'll talk about it, Mitch. I think they're going to add a center, maybe Brock Nelson. A lot of people don't know that where War Road, Minnesota is at the very top of Minnesota. It's very north. And that's where TJ Oshie and Brock Nelson are from. And there's a female Olympian whose name escapes me. I should know it. You're actually closer to Winnipeg than he would be Minneapolis, St. Paul. So, I mean, I don't know if he lives in War Road in the off season. He may not. I'm not sure. But that being said, Winnipeg could be a spot for Brock Nelson. I wouldn't mind seeing it. Like I said, that would be a really good ad. I think Winnipeg could be the team to beat if they add a piece like that. They obviously have had the best record in the NHL. That's going to continue on through the day. We have another game going on, the lone late game, Utah Hockey Club. I guess probably we could talk. We didn't really talk about that, but all that naming stuff kind of worked itself out while we were gone. So it's going to be probably the Utah Mammoth, huh?
I like that.
Yeah. How about the Leafs today, man? Down 3-0. The Bruins score on the first shot of the game. This is probably, I mean, the fact that you got a point, though, helps the Bruins. This is probably a good thing, though, after Don Sweeney's state of the state or whatever, Mike. We're talking about.
We were thrilled, though. Bruins lost. At least I was. So.
Yeah, I'll move. Oh, sorry, Pearlo. I kind of did that to you there. Just moving it in a little bit closer, and we could go back to the wide shot if people want it. Yeah, good for the Leafs. These are games they normally would fall apart on. So also Morgan Riley getting going. I know that's good too. So that's pretty good. I thought once Pasternak put him up 4-3, I was like, oh, Leafs probably, they gave it the old college try. And for the promo video, unbeknownst to me, I wore the Leafs hat, not thinking about the game. And now I got to probably do it every time the Leafs play because Hot Take Hockey is very much a Leafs Central channel because Hot Take Hockey himself is a diehard Leafs fan. But, you know, they probably have the biggest fan base in the NHL right there. I'd say Boston and them up there with a lot. You could go to a random hockey game and see a lot of Bruins jerseys. You can go to a random hockey game and see a lot of Leafs stuff. So, Dylan Krause, looks like he's banged up. Also, looks like the Rangers lost Keandre Miller and Adam Fox in that game. So I don't know.
Wow.
And other injury news, before I forget, before we get into the topics of the night, Eriksson Ek back on the IR for, Minnesota, man. They can't catch a break. I will tell you, they need to look at what they're doing with by the way, they're live, 9:36 left, 2-2, and they were up 2-0 against the Red Wings. It's 2-2, 21 shots on goal for Minnesota, though, to only the Detroit's 15. Detroit, we were talking about who needs a goalie, and we're going to get into this Mikko Rantanen stuff. John Gibson's out there, and I know that people are now saying Bennington. I think if Bennington went to Edmonton, if they figured that out, they might figure out how to win, because that might be their biggest. They need some defense there and some team defense, but if you put a guy like Bennington back there, who's very good and Edmonton's terrible off the break, right? And Bennington's one of the best on, facing breakaways. So, yeah.
That'd be funny if St. Louis takes the rest of their prospects for Bennington. Basically takes their whole prospect and
right. And then they'll guarantee you win. But I tell you what, something's going on. 4 losses straight for the Edmonton Oilers. They don't look very good at all. And to me, it's team defense, man. Team defense leads to offense. They look really poor. So other live games, Kraken finally get a goal. Vince Dunn. It's 7-1 in that game. I'll give you periodic updates if you're curious. The Panthers-Preds game is very close, 2-1, 14:27 left. Michael McCarron had just potted a goal for the Nashville Predators. Watch the Predators come back and win this game. I'm telling you, they're going to play spoilers. Oh, the Red Wings have just gone up 3-2.
Yes.
Simon Edvinsson. So Red Wings need this game a whole lot more than the Minnesota Wild, for sure. Blackhawks are up 1-0. Seth Jones, interesting. He will be talking about him tonight a little bit. Leafs come back and win. We talked about that. Sabres won 3-2. That's a tough one for the Ducks, too, because they were up 2-0. So Sabres come back and get goals from JJ Peterka, Alex Tuck, and Henry Jokiharju. By the way, I thought Jokiharju was awesome in the Four Nations. And if they were looking at offloading that guy, because I think he's a UFA, I would take a chance on him if I'm a team that needs a right shot D. Also, Alex Tuck, if that's a guy they're willing to part ways with, 20 goals, guy is, I would like him on my team. For sure.
Do you know what they're asking? Or
I don't know, but I'm saying, like, if they're obviously not going to make the playoffs, right, Pearlo? So we're going to
They want 2 first-rounders and a top prospect that can play next year. So that's a lot. But
right. Well, I haven't seen that from anything, but has Craig Adams come out and said that? I haven't read that or anything.
No, Craig Adams hasn't said that, but I read it on like 3 different places that they're asking like huge.
Well, I heard
they don't really want to trade him, but you're going to have to pay up huge.
Well, I think he's a UFA too, is he not?
I think he's willing to sign there though. So I hear.
Yeah, he's from upstate New York. So and he was a part of that trade with Jack Eichel. To not have any pieces left.
To pay big to get him.
Peyton Krebs not working out, but Alex Tuck definitely worked out in that trade for sure. Blue Jackets win. We called that on this show, did we not? 6-4.
Yeah, I love that play. That was good. Yeah.
And then, of course, we said Lightning and beat the Oilers, and the Rangers pummel the Islanders. And I think I missed Capitals Flames. How about the Canadians shutting out the Hurricanes? The Hurricanes are Oh, we lost Mike.
That's not looking good, is it? Not looking good.
The Rantanen thing. So let's get into it. Just kind of save the best for last.
Mm-hmm.
Ray, bro, what's up? You need a goalie? I don't think Skinner is the big issue there. When the Capitals pounded them, I was like, this ain't on Picard. I thought Picard was deep. That game could have been 12-1. Like Ovi could have had a hat trick in the game. He whiffed on a beautiful pass. So I will tell you, I think Edmonton, they've got team defense problems. They don't have depth. You know what? And I got to defend Jeff Skinner's actually played very well. He scored a goal in that game against Washington. Looked pretty good on the forecheck, played some good D, was far and away not their worst player on the ice, and they scratched him today. He didn't play. So, I mean, I don't know what kind of message that sends. If you're playing well, it is what it is. So I don't know. Mike must have lost his internet. So we're just going to carry on. We don't have too many games to preview, but let's go ahead and get into this Mikko Rantanen thing. So one, I love this story. Okay. And the reason I love this story is Carolina took a gamble to make, I think, one of the biggest traded. Yeah. So O'Doyle Rules, NHL Nightly is hosted by me. It's my show. It comes from my channel, but we were kind enough to be broadcasting on Hot Take Hockey. So he'll be here from time to time for things. But for the most part, you'll know when he's streaming games and stuff like that. Just try to get some traffic on the channel for him. We'll see how it works out. I don't know if he's very happy with the solution, but we're trying. So right now we're also on my X Live, Instagram Live, and Twitch Live, all the Sports Beard, or you can watch right here live on YouTube, Hot Take Hockey. We have 58 people, 39 from X. Appreciate the X followers. So I love this Mikko Rantanen thing for this standpoint. Tulski, the general manager, is not afraid. Okay, we're not going to get an extension. And dude, by the way, if I'm Rantanen, I fire my agent, because it sounded like he wanted to stay in Colorado anyway. Also, this move is going to work out for Colorado because they cleared cap space. Because remember, Chicago retained on Rantanen. And I put in the thing, Vegas Golden Knights for Rantanen and the Edmonton Oilers for Rantanen, because, wow, can you imagine Rantanen on the second line with, like if Edmonton could swing it, and they could also get another retention. The problem with the Oilers, and I think they're probably in the biggest boat in this, they don't have much to trade. Your boy tonight, Mike, for Boston.
Yeah.
Capone. Is he?
Yeah.
Oilers. Yeah, he's an Oilers draft pick.
He's an Oilers.
Guy.
Him and his neck.
Yeah, so we talked about Boakey. We know about Savoy.
They have the cap space. I haven't checked Edmonton's cap space.
So Edmonton's got space to make one big move, really. And that all factors into on what's happening with Evander Kane. It sounds like Evander Kane's going to be back before the playoff, too. I don't know. That's kind of the feel I get. That's why Stan Bowman's sitting pat. Stan Bowman on the record with Frank Saravelli said, too, they are not trading for a goaltender. Sorry, Ray, bro. So I don't think goaltending is their issue. They got to bolster up their D, and they need to add some depth to their forward core, I think, if they could. I agree, Rain. I think the Jets could do it too. They could do it too, for sure. And depending on what Carolina's trying to get back, if I'm Carolina, I don't know if I'd mind resetting this year. Where do you guys come out on that?
I think the team I think could really go for it, simply because they floundered in the first round a couple times, and they look like they got a solid team, and they got a lot of prospects and young players, is the LA Kings. I could see the LA Kings going after a big fish like that, even if it is just going to be for a rental. I did a trade on Twitter for it, actually. It was centered around Lafreniere And
where is it? When did you do it?
It was a while ago. Ago.
Okay.
Well, if
you have stuff like that, DM it to me and I'll put it up on the screen. Pearlo.
Yeah, I just get the feeling that LA would like to have one big guy. Like they got a deep team, and they can afford to trade away some of their depth from forwards.
I don't think they need to add anything, Pearlo. I'm
not sure.
I was going Dallas.
Yeah, I think Dallas definitely needs to add a right shot D, and they need to trade one of their left shot Ds. They need to decide whether it's Bischel or Thomas Harley. Anybody want to take a guess? It's going to be Bischel.
Yeah.
Beyond Bischel is the guy they got to move. Hey, Josh, how's it going?
If Bichel's out there and I'm a team, I'm all into that.
Right. I get it, but Pearlo, they have the left. I mean, are you going to trade Heiskanen?
No, I know what you're saying. I'm just saying.
Yeah, you got to get a.
I'm really interested if I'm another team, because I love that guy. I love that guy for sure.
Yeah, Dallas got smoked by Columbus tonight. This show called that. We told you guys that would happen. Columbus is one of the best. Hey, Rick, how's it going? Thanks for being with us. We got 2 mods. Nice to see Raybro too. Your fellow Edmontonian there, Pearlo. Haven't seen our friend Ryan Tubeck. Raybro, remember Raybro came on and did some scouting stuff for us. I'm going to try to get Stephen Ellis. By the way, Thursday, which will be the last show this week. We're not having a Friday show this week. Can't do it. Thursday, we're going to have Twisted Wrister, and he's going to come and talk some Sharks. Boy, they almost pulled out a win against Winnipeg last night. I was rooting for him, man. Winnipeg is not going to hurt them. They're going to probably win the President's Trophy. So it was
great. Twisted. He's a hell of a dude. He's a great guy and a good hockey mind. That'll be fun.
Who?
Twisted.
Oh, Twisted Wrister. Yeah.
He's awesome, man.
Josh says from Elliot Friedman, the Leafs looking from a bottom 6 checking forward that can play center, and from Elliot Friedman, the Leafs looking to move David Kampf before the deadline. Yeah, I hear that all the time, Josh. David Kampf. If I have to see one more trade video with Nick Robertson and David Kampf in it, I think I might choke. I'm just saying, you got to give stuff. The Leafs are going to have to give up. They have prospects to give. So if they want to get something,
no fan base in the world overvalues their players more than Toronto. I love Toronto Maple Leafs fans, but that's one thing that they do a lot. They're not just fans, the media, the whole, they do that a lot.
And a lot of times players they get rid of end up being very, very good, i.e. Rasmus Sandin playing very, very well. Ooh, Bedard sitting in the penalty box.
Right on.
Do you think it's the pressure of Toronto pressure in Toronto, just like you have to perform? Like I see it a lot with Boston guys being here. Like, does anyone else get the feeling that's the case in Toronto, even Montreal as well?
Ask that question again. I'm sorry.
Question everyone. I see it a lot in Boston. The guys are under pressure from like the fans. So, like, you must perform. Like, I see it in Boston a lot. Is it the same story for Toronto or Montreal as well? Like, you have to perform or get out.
I think they demand a lot of their stars.
Yeah.
And like Pearlo says, they probably overvalue some of the. I just think also you have to realize, and this is from my generation, from Gen X on, a lot of us grew up playing NHL, and once you got franchise mode, if the numbers match on the team, you can trade for players. And I think a lot of people think trades are a lot easier than they actually are,
Yeah,
especially with the salary cap. The last few years have been crazy. So, yeah, I mean, that's a nice to say, Josh. There's a lot of people kicking the tires on right shot defenseman Colton Parayko. You're going to have to give up an arm and a leg for that. So if the Leafs want Colton Parayko, 1, they're going to have to make cap space for him. 2, they're probably going to have to give up Fraser Minton, Easton Cowan, and a pick. Yeah. I'm just guessing. And if you're Doug Armstrong, what's the logic of getting rid of that guy? He's just coming off the thing. I don't even know what's his. I'll pull it up here. What's his cap hit? I can't think of it on the top of my head.
I think it's around 8, if I remember.
So Toronto has 1.3 million in cap space right now. Okay. St. Louis could take on all kinds of money.
It's how much term does he have left, too? I'll tell you in a second. I'm almost here.
I agree with that, Pam. Thanks for being with us, by the
I
way.
was wrong. 6.5, but it's for 5 more years.
Yes, $6.5 million for 5 more years. He's 31. That contract's not going to age well. I'm not saying they don't want to get rid of him, but they're going to ask an arm and a leg. 6.5 is actually going to be very good with the cap going up. And I'm not saying Toronto.
And he's an RD. He's a right defenseman too. So yeah, he's going to bring a lot back.
Right. You know who could use him? The Dallas Stars.
Dallas, yeah.
The Dallas.
I don't
Stars
think you're going to trade him within their division though. I don't think they would do that.
Yeah, unless you get something like Leon Bichelle back. You know what I'm saying? Like if now that's a deal. If I'm Doug Armstrong, I'm doing that deal. Or a Thomas Harley. I can't see them trading Thomas Harley. But with Heiskanen out, would you trade Heiskanen and keep Harley, Bichelle, and Lindell as your left shot D? I think Harley could do the height. I'm not saying, but would you? To me, that's an interesting prospect for me because one, if you're Dallas, okay, and I love Heiskanen, but he doesn't put up the points. Like he's just unbelievable defenseman. I love him. Great player. He makes 8.45 for 5 more years, 4 more after this. So great deal. He's 25. He's currently on the IR. He's expected to return on the 22nd. That was his eligible day to return. So he's obviously not going to be back until late in the season. It could be even the playoffs. So, but he's your left shot, right shot. So you got Heiskanen, who's a left shot, Lindell, who's a left shot, Harley, who's a left shot. You brought in, and you have Leon Bichelle. So to me, and Bichelle's on his ELC. You make the trade for Cody Ceci, who helps you on the right side, but we know Dumba's not hacking it. What do you do? Are you doing this? Are you pulling the trigger on a deal like this? So
for some reason, Puckpedia doesn't have the IR right now. I wanted to see if I'm sure he's got a no.
Well, Cap Wages does.
Okay, I'm sure he's got a no movement clause though too. That would muddle things up a little bit.
It doesn't say he has a no movement clause.
If he doesn't, you got a really good.
It doesn't have a no movement clause. Lindell has a no movement clause. That's it on their back end.
Wow.
And Jamie Benn, Rupe Hens, Marchment has a movement no trade card. Duchesne has a no trade clause, but Duchesne signed that $3 million friendly deal. So, okay, let's spitball. So Carolina, they are out of cap space. They're actually 50 over. I imagine they're having to make roster moves because they have had to keep cap compliant. So even though they had retained salary, because they added Taylor Hall at $6 million, which none was retained, and 50% retained with Mikko Rantanen. So Mikko Rantanen's sitting at 4.625 right now. So $4 million, I believe Edmonton could get him in right now. That's why I said Edmonton. But again, they probably don't need a Mikko Rantanen, but it's a move they could make. The other thing is, and like it was pointed out by our friend Rain in the chat, Edmonton does not have anything to give up. So, and I agree with you, Rain. Jets have $12 million in cap space at the deadline. Jets will have $42 million in cap space next year if they don't bring back their UFAs. So the Jets are a team. I would love to see the Jets be in on somebody like Mikko Rantanen. You need a second line center. I know he's not a center, but that's just going to add so much. And I feel like he would fit into what the Jets do way better than what's happening in Carolina right now. He's struggling. He's struggling. By the way, 77 in the chat. Leave a like, subscribe, turn on notifications. Hot Take Hockey will be doing the trade deadline stream. He takes the time off. So I believe the NHL trade deadline this year is March 7th. Is that correct?
Something like that, yeah. By the way, with Rantanen, when he did play center in Colorado sometime,
March
and he
7th.
did very well at center. So I
What's up,
wouldn't put
darkness?
that- He could play center.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't have any issues there. I mean,
That'd be huge for Winnipeg if they
just
got that.
we're talking about Winnipeg. They're probably their biggest need is second line center.
That would
You know,
be huge.
Winnipeg have to give up? Like, would that ruin the roster to grab it?
I don't think they would give up any. So here's the thing, though. That's your Carolina. You're going to want players that can play back. This is such a crazy thing. So they gave up Natchez and Drury, which, by the way, again, everybody killed Chris McFarland from Colorado. That's working out, even though Colorado hasn't looked good in their last 2 games. Natchez has been fine. Drury's been a nice ad. They got to figure out their second line center. If any team has a second line center need more than Colorado, I don't know. You know, they also, my God, they could use Landeskog back, right? So they need that big time. So, but wouldn't it be hilarious if the Blues go on a run now? All this craziness. And also, like, do the Flames end up being sellers a little bit? They added some players, but if they miss, this was a huge win for the Flames today, just as far as the standings go. Right now, I believe that win put Calgary back in a wild card. That put Calgary back in the wild card, and now they're even on games. So they're now even with games. And if I had to put money on Calgary making it or Vancouver, who are you going to put money on? I know what I saw from Calgary tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, I got Calgary. I Calgary for sure.
All right. So, like, if you went to Calgary, what can Calgary give up? Like, I'm looking at Puck Peter. They have the space for him. Like, if they just want to give up picks, I doubt you sell your picks for all of them for Rantanen. But
Calgary would be.
I see Calgary
in
the offseason for Rantanen. I do. If he doesn't sign with anybody, I see that. And him and Kadri talking to him. He was in the mountains in Colorado. Now we go to the mountains in Calgary.
Yeah, Calgary right now has $16 million in cap space.
that's what I mean. Like, do you just give up a bunch of picks and say,
so what I wonder is, this is the problem, because this is the problem this is why I think, and ultimately this is the problem for Carolina, because they're over the cap right now at 22-man roster. By the way, it's 4-1 Florida. Lindell just scored for Florida. So that game is probably, and it's 1-0 Chicago still. This would be a very bad loss for Utah. Like, they would this would be a bad loss. You cannot lose to this Chicago Blackhawks team at home when you're still fighting for a playoff spot. So here's my thing. If you are Carolina, you want players that are going to help you in the playoff. So to me, you want a guy like Blake Coleman. Okay, well, that right there wipes out what you get off your books from Rantanen, because Coleman makes $4,900,000 for 3 more years, this year included. That's definitely a player I wouldn't mind adding. But 33, but tons of playoff experience, 2-time Cup champ, stuff like that. Keep an eye on 6'6", 230-pound center Michael McCarron, paid $900. Okay, yeah, Michael McCarron. I got you, Josh. Conroy is doing a great job. Rico, I thought you were out of dinner. What's going on? Hey, by the way, 84 in the chat. I love it. We got a lot of people on X, so I appreciate it. I love it. Okay, so Rasmus Anderson is a guy, but I guess he's got 2 years left at 4 or 5, and it sounds like they don't want to trade him. And why would you? I mean, he's top left shot, right shot D. So. Rain calling you out, Rico. So it's okay. It's okay.
I just playing hooky and he just got his
So I mean, they just, to me, Huberdeau or something. Like, if Huberdeau is a guy that would fit, but then you gotta, if Carolina would have to figure out how to squeeze 10 million in there. Honestly, if you're Calgary, you could maybe retain for 1 or 2 seasons. Can you do that? Can you retain for partial seasons? You have to do it for the whole length of the contract.
Yeah.
So if you did 50%, Okay.
I don't
So
think Calgary does it in the season, but I think in the off season they drop some picks to get his rights and sign him if he wants to go there.
I don't think anybody's going to do much there, Pearlo, because if you know he's going to free agency, I see to get the 8th year. But honestly, if at this point, if this guy's willing to get his 8th year, again, he needs to communicate with his agents.
Yeah.
And because, Colorado, I heard Colorado offered him 11. I heard Colorado offered to make him the highest paid winger in the league, which is more than Panarin, which I think was 11-3. Okay. And then I've heard that Carolina offered 13. Saad, I have no idea, but we're going to have to see I don't know if they trade Besser, because if they're trying to make the playoffs, they're going to need him on that roster. I mean, and Rutherford, Alvin, they like to make their moves early. So, by the way, the trade deadline is March 7th. So to me, the two teams that make sense for Rantanen are the Vegas Golden Knights, who Vegas could, now with Theodore, like, he's probably not back before the playoffs. They, by the way, have $3.4 million in cap space right now. So if you are the Vegas Golden Knights and you want Rantanen,
that's a good one. Never thought of it.
Who are you trading? Yeah, this is the team I think that ultimately.
Dorofeyev.
Okay, Dorofeyev. So you say Pavel Dorofeyev, left wing, that's who they would want. And that would work, Pearlo. That would give them the cap space, because Dorofeyev is still in his entry or second year. He's still an RFA, but he makes 183.
Mm-hmm.
So a 1.8 million, 35,000 a year for this year and next. And then obviously Carolina has the rights. I'm thinking they're probably going to want more than just Dorofeyev. I'm thinking Dorofeyev, and the name that came to mind and that I thought of was Barbashev. 29, cost controlled. However, though, he makes $5 million. That's Carolina can't fit that in right now. So they would have to figure out to get some money back. To me, Dorofeyev and maybe like a prospect might be the right answer.
Right, but if they get rid of Rantanen, doesn't his salary it wouldn't be on their books no more? Or am I wrong with that?
What?
Yeah, that's right. It is.
Yeah. So they're giving up they're
giving up Rantanen is 50% retained right now. So he only makes 4 something.
Okay.
On Carolina.
They're going to retain again to get it to Vegas. So
no, they don't have to, Pearlo. They don't have to. They have the cap space right now. They have $3.4 million in cap space. If you move out Dorofeyev, that's like over $5 million. It covers Rantanen.
Okay.
Why would they trade him? Easy Market. The reason. Okay, so Easy Market has the question for you guys. The reason they would trade him, Rantanen, is that he's not going to sign an extension with them. Yeah. So they've offered him, from what I've been told, $13 million at 8 times 8. So their thought process is, if we're not going to keep you, we're not going to lose you for nothing, and we need bodies in the playoffs. So a Pavel Dorofeyev might be somebody they add. Honestly, Dorofeyev might fit into their system better too. Who knows? I mean, so Kelly,
I would the ladder quick.
Kelly, you wouldn't trade Pavel Dorofeyev for Mikko Rantanen if you're the Vegas Golden Knights, and Vegas can figure out how to re-sign. Their gap's going up. They're going to have room. Vegas has Holtz, Tanner Pearson, Keegan Colasar, Victor Olofsson. They got a few guys coming off the books. Aiden Hill, Ilya Samsonov, those monies are coming off. Yeah, that's what we're talking about, Easy Market. We're just saying, we think if Rantanen does get moved by Eric Tolsky, the general manager of the Calgary or the Carolina Hurricanes, Vegas is a team we think could probably be in on it. I think it's going to be Vegas. I think they always make the Thomas Hertl move. They always make a surprise. Maybe Hertl's a guy they look at moving too. He only makes a little bit more money, 6.75. I don't know.
I don't know if they could re-sign him, but he definitely would give them a boost for the playoffs. That's for sure.
Yeah, I saw that John put that in our thing too, the Evans and Armia thing. I mean, okay, they want to package these guys in the same deal. I wasn't really familiar with what they made. So Jake Evans makes 1.7. That's not much. Vegas could get him now. To me, if you're Montreal, you'll take picks because you're still rebuilding. So who was the other player? Jake Evans and Joel Armia. Armia.
Armia's 3-4.
Yeah.
The other player that could go back is Victor Olofsson, and as well, just so they have a guy for the playoffs.
I think Olofsson, they've liked him though on their power play and stuff. But I could see Armia and Jake Evans being nice ads. Rico, I don't think that's terrible.
Yeah.
They could grab those guys and Mikko Rantanen. You could trade Dorofeyev for Mikko Rantanen, and then if you move out Olofsson and maybe another player, you could. I mean, I feel like they have the cap space. So Josh says LeBron on Insider Training says Habs have Jake Evans are still far apart. All signs point to trade. However, Habs are not interested in a third or fourth rounder. Yeah, but they might be stuck with what you get offered. Sometimes the market is the market, Josh. What's the market for? Is this Evans? What is Evans? Like, he's 28. What's he asking for?
He probably can get 4.5 to 5.
What's his numbers this year? What is his numbers this year?
He can probably get 4.5 to 5 on the open market. He's pretty solid third line center.
Sorry. Hey, 95 in the chat. I think we're getting a lot on X tonight. The X is going good. 74 on the X. I love it. Report also is Jets offered a second round for. Yes, I've heard that. I have heard too, Rain, that. So I wouldn't mind the Capitals going out and giving up a 2026 first round pick for Scott Laughton. 2 years left at like $2 million. Third line center, gritty, tough, wins faceoffs, good skater. Think he would fit really good. Yes, hit that like button. Thank you, Pam. Hit the like, leave a like, subscribe. It's 4-1, 4 minutes left to go in the Florida Panthers game. It is still 1-0 with 50 seconds left to go in the Chicago-Utah game. Utah is coming. Oh, Utah just scored. Utah just scored. Clayton Keller, the captain, to make it 1-1. Clayton Keller. Darkness. Yes, I would consider moving Shen. Yes, it would suck since we've an outside shot at getting, but decent amount of teams need a second center. He's probably one of the best he's available. Yeah, so I hear you. Everything I've been told and I've read is he doesn't want to leave there. And he has a no trade clause.
Really?
I don't easy market. I do not think Toffoli's going to get traded. He signed that long-term deal. I think they have to have some veteran guys on that team. I think he's kind of been bounced around the last couple of years. That's why he signed a 3-year deal. He's kind of chased the ring again, which if you remember, doesn't Toffoli have 2 cup rings already with LA? So like, yeah, I think I would be real shocked to see him get moved. I think his salary too. So Jen does have a no trade clause, and he is 33, makes 6.5 for 4 more seasons, this season and 3 more.
Yeah.
So I'm not surprised Toronto came back. Shad, Toronto's a great team this year, man. If they win that division, if Toronto focuses on winning that division and they don't have to play I still think though they're probably going to have to play the Ottawa Senators in the first round. So that's going to be awesome. But that's not a great matchup for them, but we'll just see. Cause Ottawa, do you trust their goaltending? Olmark's not been healthy. So yeah, I don't know, man. It's crazy to me because they got Bushnevich for that long-term deal. He's 29. He makes $8 million after this year. And then Luke Shen plays for a whole different team. So you would have to work something out with Nashville. And I could see Nashville trading. They've just offloaded players this year. So, and they have they still have cap space. So Luke Shen makes $275 for 2 more years, this year and next. So if you could figure that one out. And the right shot D, I think if they're looking to trade, I think Luke Shen probably does get moved, right? He's a guy that, he would fit really well on playoff teams. Not the most fleet of foot, but he's going to be there defensively where you need him to be. Rantanen for Marner, who says no. Well, Rico, I'll tell you who says no. Mitch Marner. He's not going to do that move. See ya, Rico. I will say this. I thought about that today, Rico, but the problem is they just don't have the cap space. If they could get Mitch Marner to agree, but I don't know if you're Toronto. I just said Mitch Marner has 12 points in 4 games against the Bruins this year. He's played very, very well.
I don't do that deal if I'm Toronto ever. No way.
Yeah, I wouldn't trade Mitch
I think
Marner.
Marner's a better player than Rantanen myself, personally.
I like Rantanen in the playoffs more than Marner, so that's why I'm doing the deal. But I'm with you. Marner's better.
Well, Toronto would do the deal. I think Toronto would do the deal, but Mitch Marner has a no trade clause. So Mitch Marner has the right to choose if that deal goes down. And that being said, the Leafs would have to retain like 50% on Marner for this year. No big deal. Like you would do that 1-for-1, 50% retain because you're getting Mikko Rantanen. But that to me is if you're Toronto, you're signing Mikko Rantanen to an extension right away. Here you go, Mikko. But to me, again, that's been Toronto's problems. They've had all these big top end heavy players and they haven't been able to fill out the rest of their roster. So
Rantanen's starting to see how it feels like to be Marner because Marner is one of the best two-way players in the league. And now he's in Carolina and he has to be, and he's not doing very well. He's starting to see how it feels when you really got to play both ends and you really got to be smart on all 3 zones and everything. He didn't do that in Colorado. He didn't have to do that in Colorado, but he's got to do it in Carolina. And he's not liking it. It's probably one of the reasons why he's not signing.
Well, he's been there 8 days, really. I mean, it doesn't feel like it's not 8 days.
It could be one of the reasons. Who knows?
Played there 8 games. Yeah. I mean, let's again, though, I give Tulsky all the credit in the world. If you're like, this isn't working out, we're coming off this. You just made a big move, and you're going to make another one and add another player. And I think you will see, this move happen if they feel like they can't get something done. I love it. I love that outside the box thinking. Okay. Well, we've been live for 42 minutes and we've got games to talk about tomorrow. So let's get right into them. Because we talked about all these fancy schmancy trades. Saad ran into Tampa Bay, could happen too. That could be something too. But again, they're going to want to get something back that's going to help them win in the playoffs. I think that, that's the thing. Maybe ultimately they just end up re-signing Rantanen. But okay, so tomorrow's games, and we have a whole 3 of them. Hey, thanks, Pam. Appreciate you. We're just gonna talk about the 3 games, and then it's gonna be a night for us. We have Jets Senators. That's gonna be a good game. Senators plus 114. Where are you guys at on this, Pearlo?
Geez, I'd really like to take the Senators there, to tell you the honest truth. They've had some time off. They've had some rest.
No Brady Tkachuk.
Such a damn good team, but plus 114.
Still missing Norris and Pinto, too.
Yeah, that's going to be tough. That's going to be a tough game.
I like the Jets. I just would stay away from this. This
one
scares me.
That's why I said I'd like to take the Senators, but I think in the end, the Jets probably take that game. Yeah, it's a pretty good price on the best team in the league. I think it's like minus 120 or minus 115. You're getting a good price on the Jets there. So
yeah. Minus 135, not terrible on DraftKings.
The Jets can't lay back-to-back eggs. Like they laid an egg against San Jose. I like the Jets minus 1.5 here.
Okay. And the over-under is 5.5. Okay.
I don't think I've hit an over this season.
Okay.
Oh, really? I'm good at
maybe
you're
one.
Not the ice guy. You're not the ice guy.
No.
Yeah.
Rain isn't going to lean the Jets, but he's staying away, and I love it. Stay away. If you don't feel good about the game, stay away. It's always good policy. How about the New Jersey Devils? Did you see my tweet? They fired Sheldon Keefe. Oh, just in my world on my NHL franchise mode, Sheldon Keefe got canned. I'm in my
Okay.
first season. He got canned. I was like, holy crap. I haven't even got, it's not like I'm 3 seasons in. And I don't have anything to do with that franchise or anything. I'm doing a Capitals one. Devils plus 105, Avalanche minus 125. I'll tell you what, right here, guys, I have not liked the Avs. I like the Devils here.
This is at Colorado.
Yep.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. Colorado's lost. What have they lost? 4 in a row?
2.
Oh, have they lost 2 in a row?
Good.
I thought they had lost on the backside. Colorado, by the way, is in the first wild card in the West. They've lost 2 in a row. They're 5-5 in their last 10.
Yeah, I take New Jersey too.
The New Jersey Devils are 6-4, not much better. And New Jersey, not great at home and 17-11 on the road. But that being said, I think
New Jersey's got Heiskanen back, and they're a way better team with Heiskanen in there. I think their depth will chew up Colorado tomorrow. I'll take New Jersey.
I will do that, Rain. I'll get Mike to talk about it too.
I like Colorado at home. With that being said, I'm not touching this game because I've got New Jersey 17-11 on the road, Colorado 16-10 at home, and I think it's kind of even. I think Allen's going to be the better goalie. So, but overall, I don't see myself touching this one.
I would be good too.
It's really not been the goaltending that's been a problem for Colorado. They've gotten good goaltending. They're just not scoring goals. If it's not McKinnon or Makar, it's nobody.
Yeah.
So they've had a tough time. McKinnon, so Lehkonen leads the team in goals with 23. McKinnon has 66 assists. But Mackenzie Blackwood already has 20 wins. I mean, they've been fine as far as the goalies. Okay, final game of the night. This is a TNT. Only TNT game tomorrow is a late night game. Canucks Kings. Actually a really huge game for the Canucks. And I don't know how you could bet them. Sorry, Saad.
Not a chance am I betting the Canucks. LA's going to absolutely ruin them.
They smashed the Golden Knights last night. That game got close, and then they just said, we're way better. If that's the 2-3, if LA and Vegas are the 2-3, LA beats Vegas. But I don't think it will be the 2-3. I think Vegas will end up being the 1, and we'll probably get Edmonton and LA again. And I'll tell you what, I like how LA is playing team defense and not how the Edmonton Oilers are. And something's not right with McDavid because he doesn't look the same. He hasn't looked right since Charlie McAvoy destroyed him on the wall. So, and I think, honestly, he didn't look right before they started. He was having, since his suspension, he hasn't come back looking interested. So, Obi-Wan, you were at the Flyers game? Yeah, they got destroyed. They're terrible against the rush, though. The Flyers are one of the best rush teams. So that was just like a bad matchup for them. So, yeah, let's see what we got.
What do you got there, DJ?
I don't know if I'm going Kings straight up or am I going Kings 1.5? That's the debate I'm having right now, but it's definitely the Kings.
Kings in regulation is what I like. Let's go with that. Yeah.
Plus 150 isn't horrible. Jets are plus 190 tomorrow, though, with 1.5. That's juicy.
Over the line, through the skates. And then he passes to himself. What a move by Hunt.
Sorry. Queuing up the Go ahead, Mike. Pick your stuff.
No, I was saying for the King, definitely Kings for me. I don't know if it's 1.5 or just money line. That's really my debate. But on the Cole Hudson, he's the best of the 4 Hudson brothers. There is one more in high school, and most likely will commit to BU. But
here's the goal that our friend was asking about.
Standard Hudson goal.
Yep, he tied it up. Now, who won the game tonight? It went to a shootout, right?
BU in a shootout.
BU in a shootout. Yeah, I kind of felt bad for UConn. They led this game late, and then 4-on-4 that gives guy like Cole Hudson. Yeah, I'll tell you what. Could Cole Hudson come out this year?
Yeah, he could. He absolutely could. Like he's
nasty.
Right now, Lane is better than him. I don't know if I can say that next season.
Look at that goal. I will say the goalie goes down a little early there, but he's such a good skater. I think that's just the key too. If you are a good skater, well, there you go, my friend. Rain. Yeah, the Capitals' future is bright. I can't wait to see Ryan Leonard. I can't wait to see him. They need him. The Capitals need that.
He's
secondary
NHL
scorer.
ready.
Yeah, if they don't make the Final Four, the Frozen Four, which I'll be sort of disappointed, but I'll also be a little more happy because that means he'll be on the team a little earlier. Because I think as soon as he's done, he'll go. By the way, 100 in the chat already for the night.
So
83 on X. I love it. I appreciate everybody.
Rain, the second Hudson brother, is a forward. He is not drafted yet. So I forget his initial, but it's Lane. Guy, I can't remember, undrafted, Cole, and there's a fourth brother hanging out.
Lane was a second round pick too.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But the second brother isn't drafted yet. He's a senior. He looks good. Someone needs to take a flyer on him. But
yeah, I think a lot of these undrafted college free agents, there's no rush to sign with anybody. They're going to have a lot of teams looking for them, and they cost nothing. Entry level deal for NHL guy now I think is what, $980. So not good. Yeah, I'm excited, guys. So I don't have anything else. We'll be back tomorrow for the 3 games. Not much. I expect some trades to happen this week, guys. I think teams are going to try to get out in front of this. I think the trade deadline with the condensed schedule is not enough time to gel. If you're looking to add pieces to help you win a cup, not hint. Craig Patrick, general manager of the Washington Capitals, go get you Scott Laughton. Another guy that I would get in conjunction if you needed a third line center is why not get Trent Frederick? Trent Frederick, not terrible. Maybe not the gifted skater scorer that Laughton is, but
scrappy,
physical, going to win faceoffs, perfect for playoffs. So I love it.
I love Frederick, but everyone wants him to be a top liner. He's not.
I agree, Darkness. Scott for a first, get it done. Which Scott? Scott. I don't know. So Scott. Yeah, Scott. Yeah, I think that they will get a first for Scott Laughton. I think there's a lot of teams that need that player. So, and I think they would be willing. I've heard he doesn't want to be traded. That kind of makes me nervous too. But that being said, well, that's the show tonight, guys. You have any parting words of wisdom? We'll be back tomorrow. Thursday, we'll have our final thoughts for the week. We're back.
Appreciate everyone. Thanks for coming out.
Rico was always comes in on this when we're missing Rico for that final pearls.
Yeah, he always has something. That's good. I feel good, guys. I feel like it was a good one. Great show. I appreciate everybody. Have a good one, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the games. We still got 2 live games going on right now. If you're like, oh, the show's over, we still got Blackhawks, Utah Hockey Club. That's still going 1-1. Huge game for Utah. So I appreciate everybody. Hey, congrats on the Leafs. I'd like to think the hat gave them good luck tonight. And Mike, as a Bruins fan, is happy because they want to lose.
They lost.
Yeah.
Better
All right,
draft
everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah. Draft picks. All right, everybody have a great one.
Mahalo.